tonight we're focusing on Jackson. So Jackson, if you would, begin to tell us your title here. That's test number one. Secondly, tell us what all responsibilities that fall into the category of that title.
All right, my title is Student Minister, so that means middle school, high school, and college. What that involves, I was thinking about this, I wanted to give a kind of nice summary of what it looks like from week to week. So there's kind of three things that I do. There's event planning, and then there is kind of programming, and then there's direct ministry. Event planning would be the thing that is most different from what your job looks like, what Reggie does week to week, because youth ministry has a lot more events. For instance, right now, we finished graduate recognition this morning. We have on June 6th the Schools Out Bash out at the Worth's house, and we also have camp. And so there's organizational work for all of those things, and there are always events coming. So there's work, and I'm always trying to figure out when to put things in and when to get things in motion, and trying to find the sweet spot on that. So the second thing would be programming. We have Wednesday night programs, we have Sunday programs. So, for instance, Wednesday night programs has music, so you plan music, you plan a Bible study, we plan for Sunday school, and all of our programming that happens regularly like that. And then a third of my time I try to spend every week just directly with students, whether that is going to lunch at USI or UE. We start certain programs early. On Wednesday we already start crossover early at 5:30 so students can be here. And I try, whatever the season is, because for students they have more time in the summer, more time in winter break and things like that. I just try to fill in at least a third of my time that way every week. So that's what it looks like.
Right. Along with your responsibilities with the church, you are a full-time employee, so you get paid full-time on staff here at First Southern Baptist Church. Tell us kind of more broadly, what are some of the things that you see that is in the need of students and kind of your vision of what you would hope to achieve in some of the lives of the young people today?
I really want you all to know. You all, many of you have been a part of this church for a lot of years, and I can look at the young people who are in this room, and they could tell me names of you who have taken an interest in them, who have checked in with them week to week, who have worked with them in special events, whether that is an official event that the youth ministry does, like a Disciple Now weekend, and you've been a host home. But I know many of these students who have named you to me because you have talked to them week to week. What matters most is your involvement in their lives, that you can find any kind of personal connection with them and then keep up with them. They need that. I am doing what I'm doing. I have maturity in Christ because there were people older than me who poured into me. Most of the way I do youth ministry is because of the way my youth minister took an interest in me, began to ask me questions, began to then spend time with me, and the effects of that are absolutely present to this day in the way I do things. So if there's one thing that I would ask is that continue. Those of you who already do, thank you so much. Continue to take an interest and pour into students. This is what it's about, and that's how Christianity is passed from person to person that way.
Okay. You mentioned specifically investing into young people's lives. You also, maybe there's somebody sitting out here tonight that says, how do I help you in the ministry of students? Yeah. I know they come and ask you and things like that, but beyond that, is there something that you might guide them to say, here's how you can help me be a part of this ministry?
Yes, I was thinking about this. Periodically, you will see, we try to put out the word, especially through the bulletin or the newsletter. Those things are important for all of our ministries. I know there's a lot of information in there, but please do read that. I typically will approach people directly for something like a Sunday school teacher or something that's going to be more week to week, but I try to put out pertinent needs, important needs into the bulletin. So for instance, a month or two ago, there was a question about Disciple Now host homes. The Worths, we have this party coming up at the Worths house because they have just come and offered. So anything that you can think of that is a personal connection, if you have a fire pit out behind your house and you would like to have us come over to your house, please. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to you. You might go up back there and sit and enjoy it all the time. But we would love to come and spend some time with you. So if there is anything like that that you can think of, it's all about personal connection. That's what I would say.
Amen. Amen. And last, I just got one question. How can the church pray for you to help you in the ministry?
Pray, please. It's really seasonal. What happens in ministry, especially I think for the job that I do, is for weeks you are preparing for an event, and you pour so much time, but also emotion into making an event happen, and it feels like a whirlwind, and then afterwards, it's just like it passes, and it's hard sometimes to then go, all right, what's the next one? Let's get everything rolling again, and know that that's the way it's coming. I've been doing this long enough to know that it's worth it, but sometimes just if you would pray for kind of courage, pray for the ability to kind of make it through the kind of periods where it's a little dry. In 1 Corinthians 1, Paul talks about how he's a planter and Apollos is a waterer. And we talk about Paul a lot. I often feel like Apollos. I feel like I'm gifted as a waterer, meaning you water plants, you water plants, you water plants. And most of the time you're looking at dirt, right? And this is youth ministry. You do a lot of just pouring, and any of you who have worked with young people, you know you pour in and you pour in and you pour in, and then sometimes great things happen. But look, sometimes you are disappointed, and you see them go to college and leave their faith, and that is just frankly really disappointing to me. That is, if you look back and the things that hurt, there are names of students that are with me that I don't know where they stand, who have left, and that's hard because I very much feel like my giftedness is in watering, in discipleship, and in pouring into the lives of students, and so what that means is that sometimes you don't see anything for a long time, and that's hard because you want to see growth, you want to see lives changed for Christ. So I would ask for those prayers.
Amen.